When you are ready to create a new form, go to Google Drive, either drive.google.com or however it is that you get there. Click on the New button on the left-hand side, go down to More, and then Google Forms. At the very top, it'll give you the place to change the title of your form. Oops. And once you change the title here, if you click in the upper left-hand corner, it would actually change it to whatever the title is. You can add a description if you want. And then underneath, they've given you a starter question, which is multiple choice. On the right-hand side, you can see where it says multiple choice. You can actually change the type of question that it is. You can have a short answer if it's just a couple words. You have a paragraph for longer comments. Multiple choice only allows you to pick one. So that means there's usually a single answer that can be said for that question. Check boxes allow you to check more than one. So if you want to do a check all that apply question, you can do that. Drop down is similar to multiple choice where you'll only be able to select one answer for the question. Linear scale, if you're trying to rate something, you can use that. Multiple choice grid I don't think is one that we use very often, but it's there. And then you can have a date or a time as a question or answer. So I'm going to change the title of my first question. And once I've done that, I'm going to click where it says option 1, put one answer, and then I'm going to do add an option, add another one. If I needed to, I could click add other to have a short little fill in the blank if we want to do that. Down at the bottom, if you are going to do questions that are very similar, so maybe I want to do what is the weather like tomorrow, I could click that duplicate button and then come down and just change one word, and my question's ready to go. If I don't like that, I can click the trash button to delete it. If I want my questions to be required so that they cannot click submit until they answer it, I just move that slider over. And if you had multiple pages or were trying to do like a choose your own adventure or different questions based off how you answer, you can have it be pretty fancy and go to different pages. We're not going to mess with that a whole lot right now, but that is where you go to selection depending on what question or what answer you give. When I'm done with those, if I need to add a new one, I can click add question and then change the question type if I want. I can add in a title. So if it's a new section, so maybe originally the top part was about weather, maybe this is about climate. And then I can add an image or a video right under there. I'm going to go add an image. I can upload it. I'm going to jump over to Google Drive and find some pictures. I'll just use this one. And I can center that if I want. If something's not in the right order, maybe I wanted this climate heading above the picture. There's kind of those 6 little dots in the middle of the picture or of the element in the form. I just click on that and drag up, and then I can drop it right above the image. The last item here, adding a section that will give you different pages if you want. So when we talked about in the multiple choice going to different places depending on your answer, that's how you would set that up if you wanted to. A couple things. There's a couple add-ons for collecting data. I'm not going to go into those right now, but they do allow you to limit how many people can choose certain things or set it up so that the form is only available for a certain amount of time. Next one, the color palette. You can quickly change the background color of your form. You can preview the form at any time, just clicking on the eyeball. So if we go down, you can see what your questions look like. You can see here's the heading, or the section heading. You can see what that looks like, and then my picture is right there. Notice when you're editing the picture, it does give you a place to put in a title, but you don't need to have one. Close and go back. Under the settings, this is kind of an important one. If you are only sending it to students or teachers at Lewis Central, you can leave this as anyone in Lewis Central. If you are going to post it to social media, then you need to click there and change that to anyone can respond. Can only submit one response. You don't need to check that box. It requires you to log in, so you don't have to mess with that. Once they click submit, if you want to change what the confirmation says, you can do that right there under settings. You can allow them to submit another response if you want. This shows up on the confirmation page. It's under that heading. You can give them the opportunity to edit their responses. The see summary of responses, that will let them see what everyone else has submitted. You don't really need to do that. And then presentation options. If you were doing multiple pages, you could show the progress bar across the bottom. If you're doing a single page, that doesn't really show anything. It's just going to show 100% because you're at the last page of the form. And you can shuffle the question order if you want. That only shuffles it for the people that are taking it. It doesn't shuffle it for if you are looking at the responses. All the responses are in the same order. So I'm going to click save. When you're ready to send it out, you can click send. You can just send it to a certain email right here. If you just want to get the link, click on the link button. You can do a shortened URL so it's not such a long link. And copy that and put that wherever you want. Embed, if you had a website, you can embed it into a website, but I don't think that we need to mess with that right now. And once you get responses, you're going to see that number pop up here of how many responses you have. If you click on that, the responses will be graphed depending on the questions you take or the questions you have people answer. If it's a multiple choice or a drop down, it will give you a graph. Usually it's a pie chart that has the differences broken out. If you do the check boxes, it's usually a bar graph with everyone's responses. And the other ones typically are just text. So you can look at that here once you get some responses, or you can click where it says create spreadsheet and it'll put that in a spreadsheet for you, and you can manipulate the data a little bit more on your own. So hopefully that helps you get started with your graph.